Greetings dear friends, Dragon here once again. If it is your first time stumbling onto my tiny little channel, then do please consider clicking that red button and subscribing. It would be a huge help. Thank you, thank you, thank you. An enormous stack of new arrivals for the rest of April. I did one of these just after about the first week of the month. This is everything else that has arrived over the last little while. A couple of these I've already unboxed, a couple that I haven't, but we'll get into it together. Going to be quite a long one. Make yourself comfy, get yourself a cup of tea, put your feet up, and let's get into it. Okay, so first one up, one that I've actually already done an unboxing for. Was lucky enough with the help of my wife to manage to track down a copy of the UHD Club release of Jet Li's best film, in my opinion, Fist of Legend. So jump on over to my other videos. I'll leave a link underneath to any of the unboxing videos that are already up, and you can see exactly what's inside this glorious and pretty damn limited set. I think limited to 228 copies. Gorgeous release, looks really good. I've since had a chance to check out the disc. It is English friendly. So you have English subs as well as an English language track on here, which was surprising. And quality is really, really good. So I think a massive, massive jump up from the Dragon Dynasty release. But yeah, really stoked to track this down. Thought this was long, long gone. But pretty cool lenticular cover. So yeah, do check out the unboxing for that one if you're intrigued to see more. It's kind of probably the fanciest release of the month that's arrived. Another one courtesy of my wonderful wife. I actually managed to track down a few more copies of the incredibly hard to get Chang Cheh, a memoir book. This is the English language version. I actually got these really to give out to friends, and we got more copies than just these two. This is just the two that I have left. So if anyone is after a copy of this book, then do reach out to me. Let me know. I'm going to try and sell these two. It's not going to be super cheap because these books are very, very, very hard to come by. But yeah, two still available. So message me. You can contact me on my Instagram page, which I'll leave a link for underneath here, or you can email me through the contact page at the end of this channel, and yeah, and we'll sort something out. But yeah, two of these copies still floating around at the moment, and I don't think I'll ever see any more again. Pretty damn rare. Next up is the main two new releases for this month from Eureka. So this is the Sammo Hung directed and starring Knockabout and Yuen Woo-ping's Dreadnought. It's probably the two big releases for the month. There's nothing really spectacular on the Asian side coming out from 88 Films this month. That will be not the case next month. They've got a couple of good titles coming out in May. But yeah, there's the next two Eurekas. I will do unboxings of both of these as soon as I get a chance. Next, we have The Man from Hong Kong, the Umbrella release. Obviously, we just lost Jimmy Wang Yu. He just tragically died earlier on this month. This is a release that I've had my eye on for a little while. There's a fantastic review and summary of this by my buddies Leon and Chaz over at Hong Kong Blu-rays. So I'll leave a link down to that below, as well as Amazon links for any of these ones that are available through Amazon. You can find down below here if you check. But yeah, pretty great release. Reversible cover with basically a version without any of the warning labels, which I wish as a habit that more companies would get into. Absolutely loaded with extras. First I thought this was a 2-disc set when I saw the list of stuff on the back. You get so much. You get commentary tracks, making of footage, an entire whole other second film called Death Cheaters. Like a different cut, I think. But pretty damn cool. I'm looking forward to checking that out. And RIP Jimmy, you will be missed. Sticking with Jimmy, and one that I again already did an unboxing for. I was really stoked to find a second-hand copy, although it was still sealed when I got it, of Wuxia, aka The Dragon, which stars Jimmy Wang Yu. So an unboxing for this already available on the channel. I'll leave a link to that to anybody who wants to check it out as well. But really nice edition. That's the plain archive distributed version. But yeah, pretty cool. DVD Prime limited edition version from Korea. And then next up we have another glorious media book from the Vengeance Pack. Big fan of the Vengeance Pack. Done quite a few unboxings of their releases over the last little while because I've been tracking down a few. This one incredibly English friendly. You've got an English subtitle track, English audio track, and an English audio commentary by the wonderful Mike Leader and Arnav Enema, the regulars over at 88 Films. I've taken a little bit of a break and doing a track for this, The Drug Connection, aka The Man from Holland. And as Mike Leader said, good fun for him to do a commentary for The Man from Holland with a man from Holland. Because obviously that is where Arnav Enema originally hails from. But yeah, pretty great, pretty crazy movie starring Philip Ko and Michael Chan Chu Wai. Excited to get into it. There's a great trailer, which I'll leave a link down to below on the Vengeance Pack's YouTube page. I'll leave a link to try and track this down on Amazon, which is where I got my copy through. Another Amazon pickup, and one that is a blind buy for me. I just picked this up because it was super cheap. I think I got this for about £7. But it's New World, directed by Park Hoon-jung, the writer of I Saw the Devil, starring old boy himself, Choi Min-sik, starring Lee Jing-jae from The Thieves, and Hwang Jun-min from The Unjust. Hwang Jun-min I'm getting quite into at the moment. Just saw him in Deliver Us from Evil, and a couple of other movies that I've kind of checked out quite recently. Veteran, he's the main actor in Veteran 2, so excited to see 3 powerhouse Korean actors all together. If this is a movie that you've already seen, let me know what you thought of it. I'm excited to get into it. That is the montage release distributed by Eureka. So it kind of feels very similar to their Masters of Cinema, so a dual format I think, so you get the DVD and Blu-ray in there. Very cool. Then a couple of CEX purchases, and we're jumping away from Asian cinema for a second. A Titans of Cult release of Mad Max Fury Road. This one we can open straight away because it's not sealed. Like I said, it's a second-hand one. But it came through in really good condition. Not a huge fan of these plastic boxes that Titans of Cult do. They seem like they're going to be pretty prone to ripping pretty easily. But the nicest steelbook that I've seen for the movie, it's one of my wife's favourite films. She's a big Tom Hardy fan. So you get basically 3 discs there. You get the 4K, you get the black and white or chrome edition, and you get the original Blu-ray, along with a random little mini steelbook, which seems totally pointless, but it's still quite cute. What a lovely day indeed. And you get a little Nux badge that seems far too heavy to actually be able to wear, so that will probably just continue to live in its little silly steelbook. So totally ridiculous packaging, but pretty cool nonetheless. The main thing was to get a good steelbook version of the movie. Looking forward to watching that, and I don't think I've ever seen the chrome version. Next up was a cheap second-hand purchase from eBay for the Novamedia release of Criminal, which I actually got really because it came with a protecting case, which are pretty helpful, and these protecting cases, if you just buy them individually, are about £3. So get a movie for £10 with a little protector's case seemed like a pretty good deal. It's a not amazing movie, but a truly amazing cast. So Ryan Reynolds starts off the film but isn't in it for too long, spoiler alert, sorry, and then Kevin Costner takes over, but backed up by Gary Oldman, Tommy Lee Jones, Alice Eve and Gal Gadot. Pretty cool. It's an unusual one, a strange one for Nova to do. It's a special edition, a numbered edition, so you get cards, a little book and stuff in there too. Not bad for a tenner. Like I say, I will use this probably for something else because these are a little bit harder to come by in this sort of size. Yeah, that's Criminal. Next up is from the wonderful Yuki Pano. This is 2 of my grails. Been after these for a long time. And this is the lenticular steelbooks. Kimchi DVD lenticular steelbooks for the Raid and the Raid 2. Never thought I would still see these in stock at a shop again, so the blue collection. But he had them in stock. So not full slips, so just these slide off the top slips. I will do an unboxing for these 2 at some stage, but kind of easily the Raid 2, one of my favourite all-time action movies. The Raid 1, also a classic, but I think I maybe slightly prefer 2. I think the storyline's a bit better when he's out and about in the world, but both absolutely fantastic. Really kind of launched the career of Gareth Evans. Excited to see what he does with Havoc, but super stoked to get these. I already have the Jock Steelbooks, the kind of UK exclusives. I don't normally double dip on movies, but this was just, these are too rare to pass up, but I'll certainly be opening them, so I look forward for an unboxing for those in due course. Next up, a bit of an oddity. I didn't have any HD Zeta stuff until this month, and this is a first of 2 HD Zeta pickups. This is a curiosity. This is really just the box of extras that come with one of the HD Zeta releases. So it's a nice photo book with the little comic, sort of prequel comic. It kind of tells the opening intro sequence in comic book form, along with a bunch of other production stills and high-res images from the film. Big fan of Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. And you also get a series of cards, pictures of the various Batmobiles and so forth. Pretty cool. I don't have the normal HD Zeta big release of this. I've just got the regular Ultimate Edition box set, the white one. But it's pretty cool to kind of track this down to add along to it. Pretty big Chris Nolan fan, and nice to kind of see what HD Zeta printed materials and stuff were like. So yeah, I got a pretty good deal on this, so pick that up. There's another HD Zeta one in here somewhere that we'll get to. Then padding out my second sight collection, got a good deal on still finding somebody who had the special edition of The Strangers in stock. Not seen this movie for a long time, but looking forward to checking it out again. Remember it being pretty creepy, and really big fan of these second sight releases. I've got a small second sight collection of a couple of their deluxe box sets, and I remember this as being pretty well put together. Interested to check out. Directed by Brian Bartino and starring Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman. Yeah, pretty cool. And sticking with the second sight tip, I also got the small version, so not the 4K, not the 7-disc, just the sort of mini deluxe edition of Dawn of the Dead with the 3 different cuts. So you basically get 4 discs, the theatrical cut, the extended cut, the Argento cut, and the disc with special features. A lot of you may not know that this shares a strange Shaw Brothers connection through the double soundtracks. There's an awful lot of the audio cuts that are on this movie are also used all over the place in Shaw Brothers movies. Quite a bit in, I think it's in either 36 Chamber or Diagram Pole Fighter. I can't quite remember at the moment. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but easily one of my favourite Romero movies. One of my favourite sort of classic era zombie movies. Good time all round, and a really nice box set. Again, picked this one up at a pretty good deal. I think this came through Amazon. But yeah, nice. So I have 2 new second sights. Next up, we're back to the wonderful Yuki Palo, who's fast becoming my main go-to for essentially for Korean and also for kind of some Chinese releases. He's got great stocks. Really nice guy. It's run by a guy called Jay. Some of you may have noticed that I did the review of the Novamedia Better Tomorrow box set, the trilogy box set. Wasn't overly blown away by the quality of those, and have since sold that box set, and so this I replaced. I think a few of you did advise me against this, but by the time that I'd posted that video, I'd actually already placed the order and gotten rid of the other box set. Sold about the same time as I posted the video. So this is the 4K remaster, a 4K Ultra HD remaster, it says. I'm intrigued to see what the quality jump is like. I think a couple of you said you already had it, but the first one's easily the best one. I actually slightly prefer the cover art on this to the box set, but I will let you know how I get on with it. And he also got at the same sort of time, a limited art card for the Korean movie Believer, which I do have on the way. I'd hoped that that might have arrived already, To Catch the Devil, Trust a Sinner. But I guess consider that a sneak preview of a glorious box set that's to come. Pretty excited to get my hands on the nice fancy edition of Believer. It's a plain archive edition. But yeah, pretty cool. And then Jay, because he's a legend, threw in a random poster for me for The Silenced. That's quite a nice print. By Lee Hae-young. A movie I've not seen, so I'm intrigued to track down now that I have the poster for it. Next up is another second-hand purchase, and this is a Everything Blue box set of Black Klansman. This is the Steelbook edition with a whole bunch of extras. Pretty great movie, one that I actually only saw for the first time quite recently, and the Everything Blue collection releases are now getting a little bit trickier to track down now that the company is kind of no more. They've moved on to other things. So if you do see any of their box sets floating around at a good price, I would say grab them if you like the movies. And Black Klansman's a really great movie. One of my sort of favourite Spike Lee movies, actually. And great to see John David Washington, who is also in another release that will show up at some point when we get through one of the other boxes. But a great actor, great movie, excellent supporting cast. Good times. Nice box set. I'll do an unboxing for that in due course as well. Another second-hand one. Another Chris Nolan. It's just filling out the gaps. This is the Prestige. Regular Blu-ray. Steelbook, not in the greatest condition, but it was very cheap. I think this was about £6. Just a little bit of sticker residue and stuff for me to try and get off. But a great movie with Hugh Jackman, Christian Bale, Michael Caine and Scarlett Johansson. Really good fun. Okay, next up is the other HD Zeta. And this is Tenet, which I actually already have quite a nice steelbook for. But was intrigued to track down the HD Zeta release as well. This looks really, really very nice. Kind of crazy lenticular cover on the front. Co-starring Robert Pattinson, Robert Battenbat, if you listen to the Weekly Planet podcast. But does a really good job in this. He's a great actor. And a pretty fine film. Stands alongside Inception as kind of my favourite sort of non-Dark Knight Nolan movies. Really, really good. And just one of these ones that gets better and better the more that you check it out. So again, I'll do an unboxing for that in due course. But nice to track down the HD Zeta release there. The releases are pretty fancy, they're quite nice. It's mostly glorious packaging, more than any extras on disc, but pretty cool to get. Next up was a bit of a random find, and this was just somebody who was selling purely the slipcase and card envelope for the recent Goes to the Shell release, the 4K release. And I not too fussed about not getting the Steelbook that's in there. I actually already have a Steelbook and I have an Arrow book. And I'd hoped, didn't know for definite until it arrived, but I'd hoped that I could maybe basically combine them. And that seems thankfully to be the case. It's my old Ghost in the Shell Steelbook, which can fit in there quite nicely. And that is the Great Arrow book. I think if you can try and track down a copy, it's worth doing so. It's a really, really well put together, really well researched book on the anime and on the manga that inspired it. And it fits pretty easily into the side alongside the book. Tiny bit too wide, but not by much. It keeps it all together a little bit neater. Next up, we jump back to Korea. And this is how second-hand releases should be shipped. Check out the packaging in here. Good job, sir. Where I got this from has done a fine job of making sure that these arrive to me in good nick. And this is 2 plain archive releases, but they're kind of linked. So this is Tinker Tigger, and that's the standard release, not the original one. And the script, which is in Korean, but it was very cheap. I think I got the script for about $5, which is a crazy deal. If you look at this online, it's about $200. Both still sealed. I never understand why folks get things and don't open them. I will open these both pretty soon. Pretty great movie. An unusual little character study about a bomb maker, and then the arsonist who ends up setting off the bombs that he makes and the relationship that the two of them have. Pretty cool, well put together, pretty well shot. Great movie. And my first 2 plain archive releases, actually, like proper designated plain archive releases, not just plain archive distributed. So yeah, pretty cool. Okay, next up, only just made it in for arrivals in April. Today's the 30th of April. I'd already cut the rest of the video, but this just showed up, so I'm dropping this in after the fact. This is my first package straight from Plain Archive. Kind of teased this out earlier on in the video with this little card, but this time around they have sent me through another duplicate of that card. Got the other pack from Eureka. This one came straight from Plain Archive, along with a pretty groovy little signed card. I'm assuming it's signed by somebody attached to the movie in question, which is a believer. Might just be the guy who packs the boxes at Plain Archive. I would find that no less cool. And a little sticker. And then the actual set itself, which is this. This is a deluxe edition, the 4K and Blu-ray. The final collector's edition. I think it's Plain Archive number 47 of Believer. The Korean remake of Johnny Toe's Drug Wars, though I much prefer this to Johnny Toe's original. I know that's probably sacrilege to say, but it's true. It's an incredible movie. Really, really, really entertaining. I will do a proper full unboxing for this soon. And excited to get into it. It's a really, really nice and particularly weighty box, but arrived pretty quick. So yeah, that is Believer. Okay, next up, jumping back to second-hand steelbooks. And this was, I've been quite keen to see the extended version of The Martian, and finally managed to track down that nice steelbook at a pretty good cost. Really looking forward to seeing Charles de Lorzarica's documentary that he put together. He was the guy who worked on all the Aliens documentaries, which are so well put together. Martian I enjoyed infinitely more than Prometheus or Covenant, which are both a bit of a disappointment, but pretty stoked to get the nice fancy version of that at a pretty good price. Next up, by way of Amazon Germany, and shout out to my friend John over at Mondo Celovic Movies, who first showed me about this incredible release. This is the German release of Rollerball, the Ultimate Edition. I think it's a 5-disc. Pretty crazy. I'll again do an unboxing for this in due course, but pretty stoked to track this down at a pretty reasonable price. Really, really nice, very minimalist cover, and absolutely fantastic sort of classic action movie from the 1970s. Great soundtrack. James Caan, directed by Norman Jewison. Pretty great. So yeah, unboxing for that to come soon. It was a very, very generous gift from my good buddy Kevin over in Ireland, who very graciously gave me a Diagram Pole Fighter, the Arrow version, Region A Arrow version, which I've already done a comparison video for. You'll find that up on the channel already. And he also gave me my first ever Vinegar Syndrome release, the pretty bonkers New York Ninja, which I've since had a chance to watch through. Really enjoyed. Pretty goofy, pretty crazy fun, but what an incredible package, really. What an amazing, loving restoration, re-edit of an old lost, forgotten classic. Beautiful packaging and beautiful presentation of extras put together by Vinegar Syndrome. So I will do a full review of this in due course. But thank you once again to Kevin for being an absolute legend and sending me a couple of treats. And last, really at this point, for the gamers amongst us, I have been in the rare moments of free time that I have just now, which is not many. I'm still working a colossal amount of jobs, but we've been working our way through Elden Ring, and it's got the basic version. All my other From games I have Steelbooks for, so I managed to track down the standalone Steelbook for Elden Ring, which is incredible. Really enjoying playing it through. Maybe not enjoying it quite as much as Sekiro and Bloodborne, but overall it's still pretty damn cool. If you've been enjoying it, fellow Tarnished, then let me know. But yeah, really very cool. And guys, that is it. Let me know what you're most excited for May. There's a whole bunch of releases coming next month too. Wasn't expecting to get to quite this many. If you put this together with my other releases from April, it's been a pretty damn expensive month, but a pretty glorious one in terms of filling out a lot of gaps in the collection, things that I've been after for quite some time. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this. I will see you all in the next one. Take care.